Hello everyone and welcome back to the Journey to 2000. So I have a bit of a different video for you guys today because I'm playing in an over the board tournament today. I didn't really want to touch any rapid because I kind of tilted, well, I'll get into a little bit how I performed yesterday. I actually performed very well. So basically what I'm going to do this video is recap 4 games that I played yesterday over the online, and this is like 4 games of like 25 or something. I played so many. I went to bed at like 4 in the morning because I was just kind of addicted to playing. I just kind of got in the zone. So I have 4 games to show you. I'm going to tell you now, they're all wins. I'm not going to show you games where I lose, obviously. But yeah, it's some of these games were kind of crazy. So I'm going to go one by one. There's 4 of them. Some of them are going to be pretty fast. But yeah, hopefully you guys will like. Don't forget to subscribe, comment, like, all that fun stuff. And let's get into the first game. So this one was against a 1955 opponent, a very, very high rated opponent. So they play e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, just a very typical kind of game so far. So it's an Italian. So I developed my knight, and I played so many games yesterday where people did this sort of thing. It's such an annoying thing to play against. Luckily, they did not do that. They go for this, which is a bit of a tricky line. If you don't know how to play it, you could get destroyed by white pretty quickly. But I know to take. When they push, I'm meant to push. This is something that I studied a couple months ago, and I remembered this much at least. And it was kind of weird because they did not play the correct move. They take, which I knew was incorrect because then I take. And then they tried giving me a check, and then I just block like this. Now I'm defending this pawn. I'm up a pawn. They try and do this, and I simply take this, and then they castle, and I castle. Out of the opening, I'm up 2 clean pawns against a 1955, so I'm a little bit scared. I know they're misplaying this. I know I'm up on the evaluation, but I'm playing against somebody very high. If I get this win, it's the highest ever win I'll get. Or sorry, how do I word that? This opponent will be the highest rated I get a win against. I think that's the right way of saying that. So anyway, castles, and it's opposite side castling, which, as you know, some of you know, those games can be pretty volatile, pretty crazy. So they develop their knight here, and I play maybe not the best move. I take, which is not a great move for a couple of reasons. One, they're now getting this open file against my king. It could be very dangerous. This is a very common theme in opposite side castling games. When there's an open file right on the B or G file, it gets very bad. But I just wanted to continue to trade down because I knew I'd be winning if I kept trading. So I try and kick the knight away, which is not a great move. I half expected him to come here or to take. They did the move I didn't even consider, which was going back. And so I push. I keep telling myself I'm up 2 pawns. I might as well start pushing them. I did not even acknowledge in the game that this hits the queen and I'm also hitting the rook. I had no idea. Like, if you look at my time usage, I spent 3 seconds on this move. I literally was just like, let me start pushing my pawns. I probably won't be able to queen them, but they can cause some havoc. So they move they don't move their king, and I accidentally misclick. I tried taking back, but I completely misclick. So not only do I now not have this threat to take the rook, I just basically gave up a pawn. So I even messaged them in the game and I said, wow, that was a misclick. So anyway, they develop the bishop. I move my king over just to be safe. I know this knight is defending it, but just want to be safe. They start pushing their pawns, which I know is not a great move. I line up my bishop on this diagonal because I expected them to push, which is what they did. It's the best move. And I knew that once they pushed, I would have another square to kind of defend my pawn push. So I just brought my rook to this file, just kind of not pretending, but potentially doing some kind of like, if they just do something random, could potentially do this, and then this. It's not great. They're getting a pawn. Actually, this is not a great line to go through, but in any case, it's always good to activate your rook. They do this move, which is not a great move. I simply take, and I'm now up that second pawn that I lost before. So they do this. I push the pawn, and you guys might be able to see what move is the brilliant move. So they push this, and I notice something pretty interesting. The queen is looking at the rook. My pawn is 1 square away from promotion, so I play queen takes a1. Queen takes a1, and I only calculated this for just a couple of seconds because this is pretty common sort of thing. Actually, let me adjust my camera really quickly. It's not great. Okay. It's a pretty common thing. It's not common, but it's a tactic that's pretty well known. So I take, they think for quite a while, for like a full minute, they take back, and then this was the whole idea. I bring my rook here, and I'm getting my queen back. I told them in the game, after they took and I requeened, that they maybe had this move to not allow me to queen. And the engine says that rook e to d8 is the best move, which makes a lot of sense. And then this is their best move, takes, king takes, and then so it's not like they would have, oh, I guess they do this. Interesting. I never, and this is not even that much winning. It's only +6. So, wow. I don't even know what would have been my best move here. Oh, this, I see. Okay, that makes sense. Anyway, I'm glad we didn't, end up going down that line. Took, takes, and I ended up being up a queen. They take this pawn, which I thought was not great. They're just kind of pawn hunting, which is not a good idea in my eyes. And then here they just blundered their bishop, which I didn't even notice I had mate. I just fully had mate in this kind of situation, which I didn't even see. Yeah, this is just a forced mating sequence that people are probably pretty knowledgeable about. But anyway, so that was, I just really wanted to show that game because of that brilliancy. I was really, really happy with that move in the middle of a game against the highest rated opponent I've ever played against. To play a move like that, I was pretty happy with. So that was one game down. Let's get into the second game. This one I played white, and we got a Smith-Morra Gambit, which you guys know I love playing if you're a regular here. So they played a very standard setup. This is not a move that I typically see. It's actually an inaccuracy. And the best move is to bring the bishop out, just get on this nice long diagonal. They fianchetto their bishop, which is the best move. Obviously, if you're going to push your g-pawn to g6, you're going to fianchetto your bishop. And then so knight out here tends to be a mistake in the Smith-Morra. If you're a Sicilian player and you play against the Smith-Morra, just to know you really should not bring your knight here unless you fully just analyze that it's okay. So I spent 3 seconds, I pushed, which is the best move. They played the best move, and I did not play the best move. Here, try and pause to see what the best move is. It's not that intuitive to me to bring your bishop here. I just didn't really see that, to be honest. And here, black is barely up, but they're much more up now once they take my bishop. Takes, and they're up 2 clean pawns. But white is better here because of a sequence that I did not find. I was just thinking of like, okay, I'm hitting this bishop. I'm also threatening mate. But they unfortunately had a very nice in-between move, which is to take my knight with check. What would have been the best move here? Oh, is to immediately take and do this. I see. Yeah. That's very, very... Yeah, now you're hitting with the rook, which is obviously defended, but I'm no longer down 2 pawns, and their king can't castle, and this is great. That's something that I'm surprised I didn't see that in the game. So I do this, they takes. I now bring my queen back to hit the rook, and they castle, and I castle long, which is, it's when you're just down material in a gambit like this, you kind of have to do some risky stuff, and castling long is definitely considered risky. So anyway, they bring their queen out, give me a cheeky little check, and I move here. They try and lash out, which I didn't really think that was a great move. It gives my bishop a better diagonal. Obviously, the evaluation really hates this. For these sequence of moves that we're not even going to look into because it's just stockfish being stockfish. So they try and do a queen trade, which is it's a good idea. When you're up 2 pawns, just get a queen trade in. If I take and take, then this is just bad for me. I guess I can actually grab this pawn and then grab this pawn. So it's maybe, wait, okay, wow, it's really jumping in white's favor here. Oh, whoops, yeah, I forgot I can't do that because then I'd lose the bishop. But in any case, I play the best move, which is to bring my queen here, threaten a cheeky little mate. They play what looked like to me the only defensive resource. In the game afterwards, I noticed you could push h5 and there's no mate, but it's still kind of dicey. Your king is kind of wide open. Maybe there's ideas of sacrificing, who knows. But they bring the queen back. I slide my queen up to f6, simultaneously hitting the queen. And there's all sorts of different mating ideas here. And they play queen to c5. So go ahead. You can see that it's mate and 7 for white here. Go ahead and try and see if you can figure out what the move is. Many of you who have a very good tactical eye will be able to figure it out. It is rook takes h7. Rook takes h7, and it's forced mate in 6. The best plan is to give up the queen, and then yeah, it's not looking good for black here. So they ended up taking, which is, yeah, they just allowed themselves to basically get mated here. And obviously this can't be taken back because the pawn is pinned, so they have but one move, and it's mate this way, or mate, well, not that way. You can mate this way, or I decided to mate with the queen. So another game, another brilliancy I was very happy with. Yeah, when I start to play a bunch of games in a row, I tend to find these sort of tactics, but not that often it feels like. So it's like once every 50 games I feel like I get these sort of nice brilliancies. So let's get into another game. So this one, I'm playing white and I'm playing against the French defense. An opening that I am not a fan of. The main line, there's tons of main lines. You could play this, you could play this, you could play this, you could take and do the exchange, which is super drawish. But I decided not to do any of those. Whoopsies. So I decided not to do any of those, and I whip out my new secret weapon against the French, B3. So it's not some secret weapon, but it's a gambit, actually. I could do this, 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 and then they do this, but that's very boring. And again, just very drawish in my eyes, so I don't do that. I instead gambit the pawn. So this is all book. As you can see, whenever it has like the book sign here and it's like brown, it means these are all theory moves. So I bring my knight out. They evaluate the Stockfish. The computer wants you to go knight f6 to hang on to the pawn that way. But I thought this was a sensible move. I did this, took this, bam. They brought their knight out. I brought my knight out. They played a pretty bad move. It's not a bad move. I found the best move in this position, which is to bring your queen here. And if they kind of just lackadaisically play this, you can take this pawn because the pawn is pinned to the king, and I'm no longer down a pawn. And I have a very good position. They see that, so they bring their queen here. I castle, which is the best move. Just look at this. I'm down a pawn, but the evaluation says I'm up 2.9, almost +3. This is the. I know somebody commented on my previous video, I think, like, what's the point of gambits? This, just rapid. Look at my pieces are fully developed. My bishops have really nice diagonals. He hasn't gotten his knight out, his bishop out, this bishop out. He isn't ready to castle yet. So this is where gambits are just really, really nice. So they do this, which is the best move, just to fianchetto over their bishop and get castled. I bring my rook in, and I finally decide to jump the knight in and just cash in on this pawn. So I'm no longer, the computer doesn't love this. It likes bishop c4, which is a very, very nice move. Just to pin the pawn to the king. They probably would have gone, what? Yeah, king h8 looks like the best move. I guess it's not the best move. Okay. Anyway, doesn't matter. So I don't play that move. I end up just cashing in on the pawn. Takes, 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 a bunch of takes. And now I play this bishop move, kind of eyeing up. If he does something random like this, then I take the knight for free because it's a check and they have to move, and now I'm up a free piece. And that's great. But of course, they're a good player. They see all of that. They move their king, and I hop my knight in. So I thought for this move for 10 seconds. It just looked like the right move to me intuitively, like I'm hitting this, multiple things are attacking this knight. What I did not see is this move, which isn't an accuracy. It's a full blunder, actually. Try and see if you can find the move. I did not see the move. I kept telling myself, okay, I can't take this knight now because my rook is hanging. But the best move is just to take with the rook. Because as you can see, the king has no moves, basically. Like if you do this and this, the king is just basically stuck because it can't move to this square. It can move to this square, but that's no good. You're just going to get discovered, lose this. It's bad. So I didn't see that. I hopped my rook up one square to e7. They did this, and I noticed I just had basically I just win a free piece. Just bam, bam, bam. Or sorry, I don't win a free piece, but, oh yeah, right, that's right. I don't win a free piece, but as soon as, I was going to actually tell you guys to see if you could find the right move here. The biggest threat here is if I can bring my rook here, this is mate. It's just checkmate because this bishop has this nice diagonal. The king has no squares. It's tucked away. So I play b4, trying to dislodge this knight. They hop in here. I bring my rook here. They hop in here, but then I just play h4. And they resigned in this position because there's basically no way to stop mate. The best engine line is to literally just give up your knight and your rook so that you don't get checkmated, and this is obviously very winning. So yeah, really, really, really nice game. I was pretty happy with this game. It's the first time I've ever played this new system against the French defense. I was playing the Tarrasch for the longest time, and I could not figure out how to get nice positions, so I decided to ditch it in favor of this. So sometimes I might just do the Horowitz attack. Sometimes I'll do what's called I don't even know how to say this, the Papaticulat gambit is what it's called. I'm not French. I have no idea how to say that. I probably just butchered it. And let us get into the fourth and final game. I know I'm buzzing through these, but some of them are pretty easy to the moves are pretty simple to understand, so I don't have to go into like a bunch of in-depth lines. Yeah, so let's get to this game. This is actually the same opponent as the one that I beat in the previous game. I think this was the first game we played, and then he rematched me. We played the game where he played the French defense. I think it was in that order. So I'm just playing a King's Gambit system against this. I don't really know what my opponent's doing. It's a London system, clearly, but I'm not really used to seeing it in this kind of move order. So I bring my bishop out, and as soon as they hit it, I just take. I always feel like against d4 when I fianchetto my bishop and stuff, I just can never find a good home for this light squared bishop. I never like fianchettoing it. I don't know. So I always just get rid of it, which I know is not good. White has the bishop here. Obviously, it likes white's position. It's basically plus 0.5. So I know it wasn't the right sequence of moves, but it works for me. So castles, they push. I bring my rook to the fold. I bring my knight here, looking to push e5, and I don't want to lose this pawn. Typically, this is the best move in this position. It's the best move. Because if they try and go, bam, 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 this is what could happen. And if you grab that pawn, it means nothing to me. So whenever the queen comes out and tries to take this b7 pawn a lot in these kind of positions, sometimes you can just let them take it because it's as long as your rook is defended by something, you don't really have to worry too much. But I get a little scared. I'm like, I don't really want to give up that pawn, so I push, which is not great. White is up plus 9. They castle. I push this pawn. They take, and they blunder. So see if you can find the correct move in this position. I did not find it. I pushed this pawn, which to me looks like it's just a clean fork. Obviously, you can take, but then I just take like this. And if you take, I'm chilling. I'm up 2 points of material. Black is winning here. I did not find the correct move. The correct move is knight c5. It's knight c5. And look at this crazy line. It wants you to go rook f to d1, actually. Not even saving the queen, which is crazy to me. Oh, sorry. Okay, my bad. It does want you to save the queen, but you're still... Well, okay, you can't take, and you just have to... So bam, bam, bam. Obviously, you can't take back. And it's just looking bad. And then rook f to d1. I see that. That makes sense. And then you push this just to kick this knight away and then solidify this knight. So anyway, I didn't find all that. I simply pushed. My opponent plays a very good, tricky move because I was initially just going to immediately take, but then I was like, oh wait, then they get a check, and then I'm going to lose my rook. So I did a little bit of calculation, and I ended up deciding that that's fine for me. So black is still winning. I did not evaluate it as winning for me. But I kind of just assumed there's not really much else I can go for. If I simply do something like this, then they can bring their knight here and white is winning, and they've kind of solidified their position a little bit. So I didn't want to go down that line. So you guys know me. I'm not a crazy player, but I'll go for some crazy stuff. So takes, move my king. It actually wanted it to go to h8. I kind of see why, because then it could come into some other checks here. Well, not now, because then you just take the bishop, but in the future. So takes, and I hop my knight in. So black is up +1 here. White is up 1 point of material. They're up. So I have a bishop, 2 knights, a queen, and a rook. And they have 2 rooks, a queen, and a bishop, and a bunch of pawns. So I hop my knight in here, seeing this is just a clean fork of 2 pieces. They defend it with their king, and there's a reason that people say the king is the worst defender, because it just gets in the line of just terrible attack. So I find the best move, which is queen c6. Just eyeing up this pawn. And I thought they had to defend like this, but then I don't even know what I would have done here. Oh, okay, this. I think that's a little bit unfindable. I don't really... Oh, okay, maybe it wants rook e1 then. Anyway, doesn't matter. I didn't play any of that. They didn't even play that. So they pushed this pawn. And I'll tell you right now, the move I played is a sacrifice, but it is not any kind of brilliancy. I took this with my knight, which for some reason in my eyes, I was like, okay, if they take, then I'll take. And all they can do is go to these darker squares. And then I have this check. And so that's all I really calculated. I did not really calculate too much. So takes, they give me this check, which is not good because I can bring my knight back and I've just captured a pawn for free. And now I'm eyeing up this pawn. They bring their queen here, which is the best move. I slide my king over. They bring their rook to the semi-open file. And I told myself, I remember saying out loud, that's way too slow. So I brought my rook here, and it wanted rook takes e5, bam, bam, and yeah, I guess this is the line that it thinks is best for white. But they do this. I take with the knight, which is, I think, a very good move because it's defended 2 ways. The queen cannot take it, and I'm setting up all sorts of discoveries. If they just do some random move, then What would be my best move? Yeah, just discover check, you win a free knight, or sorry, free rook, and it's great for you. So they bring their king back, and if you see here, I spent like 2 full minutes because I kept telling myself, I was like, I have some kind of mating sequence here, or I tried finding some kind of mate and I just could not find it. So what I ended up doing was just kind of cashing in on a free piece, just hitting this 2 times. And I guess they didn't see my queen was attacking it. They take, I take, and I'm up a queen, up 10 points of material, and mate is ensuing somehow. I don't really see the mate, but it's pretty easy. But yeah, then they resigned as soon as I took their queen with my queen. So yeah, those were 4 games that I played yesterday that I was very, very proud of. Oh no, my camera slipped. That's okay. But those are 4 games I was very, very proud of yesterday. It's funny I say all of that because if we go check my current rapid score, it is 1810. So I played like a bunch of games. I got up to 1890, my peak, and then I tilted and lost tons of rating. I nearly went back into the 1700s. This is my problem, is I'm just a wildly inconsistent player. Some games I'll be playing, like Magnus Carlsen, and then other games I'll be playing like what Gotham Chess describes as Carlos Magnuson. Just a bad play. It's bad. But anyway, I wanted to show you those games. I know you probably wanted to see some rapid games, but I'm playing in an over-the-board tournament later today, and I don't really like playing too much online chess on the day that I play rapid over-the-board tournament. So hopefully tomorrow I'll be bringing you guys a recap of the over-the-board tournament, depending on how I perform. If I lose all 4 games, you guys will never, ever hear them. You guys will never, ever see those games. So hopefully I win at least 1 game. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I blitzed through those 4 games, but yeah, very, very fun games to kind of look through and examine. So anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care.